Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy T for 365 Horror, and this is a horror movie discovery channel. I am just here to put as many horror movies on your watch list as possible. And in today's video, we are going to be looking at 9 brand new releases for you guys to watch and stream today. So let's get into it right now. Now we are going to get into the video, but before we do, I've got to remind you guys to please like and subscribe if you like this content. Also, this video is best watched with a movie tracker. I like to use Letterboxd. It's just the easiest way to keep track of the movies that you've seen and want to see. And lastly, these are just a preview. These are not reviews and recommendations. If you did want to see some reviews and recommendations, then I suggest you watch my monthly watch list series and my You Should Watch series. This is just a little something for the diehards like me that are always looking for something new to watch. And with that, let's get right into the new movies. It's sad to say, guys, but you know, we are coming to the end of summers as we're getting to the beginning of September. Where I'm at, I definitely feel a chill in the air, but on the bright side, that means that I'm seeing some Spirit of Halloween's pop up. I'm definitely feeling a little bit more of that spooky season spirit, and we can tell because we have got a ton of movies to cover today. Now, the first movie we're going to take a look at this week is a straight horror called Hellhole, and it's available on Schlitter. Hellhole hails from the filmmaking family behind Hellbender and centers on an American-led fracking crew that uncovers a living French soldier frozen in time from a Napoleonic campaign whose body hosts a parasitic monster. It is directed by John Adams and Toby Poser. Okay, after watching the trailer for Hellhole, this looks like a little bit of a low-budget, gory body horror film. Now, I do like the premise because I do love the whole infest the host vibe, and this movie looks like it definitely delivers well on that front. Now, throughout the trailer, I saw tons of body horror, which led to a ton of gory moments, so we just know that this one's gonna deliver. Now, my main concern in this one is in part the acting, which at least looked passable, but I also was concerned with some of the glimpses that we got of the creature, because some of the effects and gore, it just looked questionable. Now, this movie doesn't exactly strike me as a scare fest, but something that I may throw on if I wanted some gore and chuckles. Hellhole will definitely be getting a lower spot on my watch list.
We'll
go grab some samples.
We just found this guy in a fucking ditch in the ground.
I saw something coming out from his nose.
Next, we're going to take a look at a horror thriller called The Death That Awaits, and this one is available on Fandango Home and VOD Digital. A drifter searching for answers to a mystery from her past takes on a job, looking after a sick teen who is undergoing a mysterious transformation. Her family will do anything to stop. It is directed by Richard J. Lee. Okay, after watching the trailer for The Death That Awaits, this looks like a mid-tier thriller horror. Nothing from what I saw particularly stuck out to me in this one. It also didn't really strike me as a movie that's gonna have that many creeps or scares. I didn't mind the premise, but at least from the acting and the production, this one looks like it has a decent budget. The scare moments that we did see were kind of meh, and unfortunately a lot of the injuries were meh as well. Now, all in all, this movie doesn't look terrible, but it's nothing that really particularly struck me either. The Death That Awaits would probably get a lower tier spot on my watch list.
Cassie! I hope you didn't have too much trouble finding the place.
I know the ad said it was secluded, but
Wow. This is my daughter, Nina. This is Cassie Farrow.
you're older than I expected.
Next, we're going to take a look at a crime horror thriller called Longlegs, and this one's available on VOD Digital.
I'll be waiting.
In pursuit of a serial killer, an FBI agent uncovers a series of occult clues that she must solve to end his terrifying killing spree. It is directed by Osgood Perkins. Okay, so after watching the trailer for Longlegs, I've got to give a full caveat that I have seen this movie. With that in mind, after watching the trailer, I did find that it did a good job of embodying the dark tone of this crime thriller. Now, even though this film is a bit of a slower burn, I thought it did an excellent job of keeping me engaged with great detective skills and great crime solving that really just led to meaningful revelations. Now, I do wish we got to see a little bit more of Nicolas Cage, but from what we do see, he just seems to be creepy and slimy and a great presence on screen. My only qualm is, although the story was really good, I found some of the ending and just some of the character motivations a little bit muddled. All in all, if you're in the mood for a slower burn and not exactly looking for higher octane scares, like in a movie like Evil Dead Rise, then I think Longlegs definitely deserves a spot on your watch list.
Is it scary being a lady FBI agent?
Yeah.
Take a nice long look. A letter was left with the bodies. Signed with one word.
Next, we're going to take a look at a horror sci-fi called Hostile Dimensions, and this one's available on VOD Digital. Two documentary filmmakers travel through alternate dimensions to uncover the truth about a graffiti artist who has vanished. It is directed by Graham Hughes. Okay, after watching the trailer for Hostile Dimensions, I have to admit I'm kind of intrigued by this sci-fi horror. The first element that stuck out to me was the premise, which I really liked. The idea of having access to a dimensional door that just takes you to a different dimension every time you step through it is both cool and terrifying. Now, I really liked how each of the dimensions had its own look and properties, and I really think that if they can just execute these dimensions so that they look and feel realistic, it really could be something good. The next thing that stuck out to me in this one is that it's going to be a found footage, which is a genre I always just want to love. If they really are successful in executing the found footage part of this, I feel like we could really feel like we're getting a first-hand view of these new dimensions. Plus, I'm really intrigued with the fact that it's a sci-fi and found footage mashup, which really is a unicorn, and with a premise that isn't played out in the horror world. Now, one of the dangers of this film is that I did think that some of the dimensions did look hokey, and I get it because it's such an ambitious project on a found footage budget. I'm just hoping that they can execute it in a way that even if some of the elements do look hokey, it's something that I can look past. Hostile Dimensions will be a solid mid-tier film on my watch list.
There was ancient civilizations which figured out a way to reach other planes of existence through these doors. A cult thinks they need to sacrifice people to the other dimensions in order to keep our world stable.
Next, we're going to look at a drama fantasy horror called Deadly Dealings, and this movie is available on VOD Digital.
Your life will be yours, as you've always wanted it to be.
Mary misses her brother. Her life has been full of regret since that fatal night. Milo, her roommate, offers the chance to speak to her brother again with a spirit board. Reluctantly, she accepts. What sinister entity has been unleashed? It is directed by Adam Freeman and Roman Jossert. Okay, unfortunately, after watching the trailer for Deadly Dealings, this one really did look mid to lower tier to me. Now, I wasn't exactly thrilled with the acting, and even the setup for the story, it just seemed a little bit hokey to me. Now, I gotta be honest that after watching the trailer, I kind of had to check the release date because I just wanted to see if I had made an error, because the movie really has kind of an older look and feel to it, but maybe that's intended. Now, as I was trying to research the release date, I did read one of the descriptions for the film that said that this is a blood-soaked queer horror, so that could be intriguing or enticing to someone who likes those kind of themes. Me, myself, unless I hear some really good things about this one, I may have to skip it on my watch list.
Now remember, I'm the medium, and only I can talk to the spirits, but you must be respectful, and you must be thankful of the ancestors of our past, and the creatures and monsters in between. Is there anyone here with us today?
Next, we're going to take a look at a straight horror movie called The Exorcism of St. Patrick, and it's available on VOD Digital.
Do you do exorcisms?
Well,
No, not technically.
A pastor takes a gay teen to a cabin to perform conversion therapy. When he goes too far, bullying the kid into suicide, the ghost of his victim returns to plague the pastor and avenge the deaths of so many other ghosts like him. It is directed by Quinn Armstrong. Okay, now after watching the trailer for The Exorcism of St. Patrick, this really did strike me as a lower budget slasher film for sure. Now really, I wasn't really thrilled with the acting or cinematography on this one, but at least the trailer showed a little bit of life with some pretty brutal, bloody moments. And personally, I just find that that's always good for a slasher. Also, I find the actor that's getting the exorcism, like the disturbed kid that the pastor is talking to, he does a good job definitely of seeming kind of introverted and disturbed. Other than maybe a really good amount of gore, nothing really stuck out to me with this one, and it's probably going to get a little bit of a lower spot on my watch list.
Are you happy?
No.
Your parents love you so much. They just want you to be happy. And love in this world is precious.
Next, we're going to take a look at another straight horror film called Bed of Nails, and it's available on VOD Digital. Goth kids cut through rural Florida when they're confronted by 4 rednecks. After accidentally killing one of the kids, the rednecks kill the remaining 2 kids, but one of the kids returns from the grave to enact a brutal revenge. It is directed by Michael Malott. Wow. This week is good because we've got a lot of movies, but we've definitely hit a little bit of a rough patch in the video. After watching the trailer for Bed of Nails, this movie just is nothing really to write home about. The acting and the effects in the trailer were just kind of meh, and some of the scare moments just felt very set up. Now, one of the taglines that they ran in the trailer was "Never mess with a goth girl," and I mean, she is running around in kind of a schoolgirl skirt outfit, so if that's your thing, that could be a point that intrigues you. But even in her costume, like just the contacts and the makeup looks a little hokey. You see some demonic symbols that are supposed to be like scratchy, but they just look very badly drawn on. And to be completely honest, I'm just not sure that a hot goth girl is going to be enough. Now on the bright side, and I'm sure this is just me ODing on copium, sometimes when these lower budget movies, just the way they were kind of portraying some of the violent moments, we could get some brutal practical effects if they really decide to lean into it. Unfortunately, unless I hear something good from you guys about this one, I may have to skip Bed of Nails on my watch list. Next, we're going to take a look at another straight horror movie called The Funeral, and this one's available on Screambox. Simal drives a hearse for a living. He's entrusted with secretly carrying a body of a young girl at the request of her family. One night, he hears strange groans from the back of the truck, even though the girl hasn't got a pulse. It is directed by Orkun Bayram. Okay, after watching the trailer for The Funeral, I'm glad that we're back in kind of a good realm with this dark, bleak zombie vampire flick. Now, I really like the overall dark tone in this one, and just some of the situations and sound effects we've seen definitely were mildly unsettling. The premise sounds decent, and I'm definitely intrigued to see what this girl is or what's going on. I think that I'll be giving The Funeral a regular spot on my watch list.
Abi de bu kızın adı ne? Ne yapacaksın oğlum kızın adı? Ne bileyim abi, o kadar yol gideceğiz.
Lastly, we're going to take a look at a horror thriller movie called Schlitter, and this one's available on VOD Digital. Lucas and Matthias, 8-year-old sons of lumberjacks in the Vosges forests, are the best of friends. One day, while driving his car, Lucas's father fatally collides with Matthias, who is cycling down the mountain. Sitting in the back of the car, Lucas watches helplessly as his father throws his friend's lifeless body into the ravine. One look is all it takes for him to realize that he'll have to keep silent about this terrible accident forever. It is directed by Pierre Mouchette. Okay, after watching the trailer for Schlitter, it's good to end on a high note with this gory, brutal slasher. Now, the fact that this was a French TV movie is crazy because we really see some good gory stuff in this one. But then again, if you've seen other French extreme movies, maybe that says it all. Now, it almost has an I Know What You Did Last Summer vibe, but even the accident in the trailer that we see, it's just raw and visceral. Like, you see the father as he's driving down the mountain, and you just get this close-up vision as he comes into contact with the kid, like through the front windshield, and the way the kid just jarringly flies back, it really is crazy to see. Like, to be honest, it was actually kind of jarring, but it was just the beginning, as there was tons more gore to follow that. I also like the fact that it looked like it had a brutal and interesting kill variety. Although this movie doesn't have the most original premise, I really did love what I was seeing as far as slashers go. Schlitter looks like a brutal, fun ride, and it's definitely going to be getting a medium to higher spot on my watch list.
Mon fils Mathias, il a eu un accident de vélo. Tu te souviens? Dis-moi, Louis, t'as pas vu Mathias? Il devrait déjà être rentré.
On n'a vu personne.
Well, guys, that's going to do it for another episode of brand new movies to watch and stream. I hope you liked this video, and if you found some good movies for your watch list, please leave a like and subscribe. Now, if I had to make a couple picks this week, the first one would definitely be Longlegs, and if you haven't seen that movie, I definitely think it deserves a higher spot on your watch list. Now, when it comes to the movies I haven't seen, the first movie I'm going to pick is Hostile Dimensions, and to be honest, I'm kind of weary about this movie because, again, some of the stuff looks pretty hokey, and with the ambitiousness of the project, I could just see a lot of the effects being very subpar, but I did like some of the weird things I was seeing. I liked the different dimensions. They were showing one dimension where whales were flying through the sky, and that didn't look too bad, but some of the creatures in the other dimensions didn't look as good. So even though this is one of my picks, I'm fully understanding of the fact that I could get burnt by this one. And my second pick this week is definitely going to be the French TV movie, which is crazy, Schlitter. This one just looks brutal and gory, and I love the kill variety. I love those type of kills where it'll cut to a scene and all of a sudden the kid's tied to a sled with a spike coming closer as he's, you know, that kind of stuff. It just looks like a fun slasher, really brutal and gory, and it's going to be my second pick of the week. Well, guys, if you made it to this part of the video, I want to thank you so much, and I really do appreciate you guys for sticking around. I've got to get out of here. I have got a ton of movies to watch. I hope you guys have been well and taking care of yourselves, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.
You've got this in your flat right now.
Unfortunately.
Jesus.